Hello, it's Mike with the Claim Squad Public Adjusters again. We're talking about a fire claim. Whether it happened to your home, condo building, townhome, manufacturing, business, restaurant. And with a fire claim, a few things you should know right off the bat. Number one, if you were to go to Google and put in fire damage claim, you'll see a bunch of attorneys. So why are attorneys so engulfed with fire damage claims? Well, for one, they get a percentage off the amount of the fire damage claim. In Florida, the average claim is approaching $100,000. Now that's just the average. You tend to find out that in a lot of cases, in most of the cases that I've seen, they exceed $100,000. So the average is a little skewed in my opinion. Number two, something I think is very important. The insurance company, you know who they find at fault more often than not? You and me and your neighbor and their friends and their families. That's right. Insurance companies will blame you, me, whoever lives in that property, lives in that condo, owns that townhome, owns the manufacturing. They'll blame it on the employees. It goes on and on. It's almost synonymous with the fact that denied, blame it on you, arson. It goes on and on. See, I worked for a law firm and then also the insurance company. When I worked for the law firm, I did some fire inspection claims, and I was also an expert witness. And really, when I started with the insurance company, I started out investigating fire damage claims, and there's a whole story how I got into that. So we're going to go into a bunch of different things. This is going to be kind of a long, informative video, the longest video and the most informative video that I have done with property damage claim, because it's the most complex and it deserves a heck of a lot of attention. Not only for me putting in the work to inform you, but also for you to take in everything that I share with you, because it's important to know why the insurance companies do what they do. As a companion video, I also have specific cases that I covered that we're going to go through. It's a separate video, and you will be amazed as to the story of these fire damage claims, what happened, and the result. So let's get into it. I'm putting it right on the board right now, flashing what we're going to cover. So we're going to cover the brief intro, which I just did, the fire stats in Florida. We're going to cover a kind of unknown law in Florida. It's a Florida state law that actually protects you when you have a fire claim. We're going to go through and cover causes of fire damage, and then finally why your fire damage claim was denied. So I'm putting up now, we're going to cover first statistics, and I'm going to put up some of the statistics regarding fire damage claims in Florida. Let's take a look. So Florida is considered the lightning capital of the US. There's over 200 fires a year that's caused by lightning. The average cost per the fire, which is a result of lightning, is anywhere from $10,000 to $13,000. Normally it's not a severe fire when it's lightning, which is the reason why it's only $10,000 to $13,000. Number three, if you look, cooking fires are the number one source of residential fires. Approximately 50% of all fires are from cooking. And cooking fires, if you look at number four, how, where, and why, 30% of them start in the kitchen. It's mostly people that leave their cooking unattended. And 60% of these fires start on top of the cooking range. The other causes: defective wiring. Over 50,000 buildings a year throughout the U.S. suffer a fire due to defective wiring. There's over $4 billion in damages in the year from fires as a result of defective wiring. And then finally, candle fires. There's over 2,500 fires every year in the U.S. 500 million plus in property damage yearly. And most of the fires, ironically, start in the bedroom with candles and then following the living room and bathrooms. So as you can see, what people really don't know, lightning in Florida causes a lot of fires. And then also all the other things, causes that we just talked about that people probably really didn't even know about, from the candles to the cooking. So we're going to take a look at this state law. It's called the Florida Valued Policy Law. I'm going to put it up. It's Florida Statute 627.702. And here it is. When any building or structure sustains a total loss as a result of a covered peril or partial loss as a result of fire, the liability shall be the amount for which the property was insured. Okay, what does that mean? Let's say you have a fire, your home's a total loss, and on your policy you have your home insured for $450,000. With this law, that now becomes what you should receive from the insurance company, $450,000. They really can't argue too much about that. Let's go on. So the purpose is to fix the measure of damages payable to the insured in case of a total loss. It requires the insurance company to pay the amount listed on the policy without any additional proof of actual value of the house. Now let's take a look at, we're going to take a look at a couple cases. I'll put the first one up. Okay, there was a building in Miami that I handled. Well, this is just an example. Building in Miami was destroyed by hurricane, tornado, fire, doesn't matter what. If the limit for dwelling coverage A is $750,000, notwithstanding, that should be like a parentheses, notwithstanding any coverage of defenses or exclusions, the insurance company, without any questions asked, should pay the $750,000. Now here's case number 2. Same type of example, but let's say whatever caused the damage, tornado, hurricane, fire, $750,000, but let's say only $500,000 was caused by that tornado, hurricane, or fire. And then it became a total loss because of a non-covered event. Let's say that non-covered event was a flood, because in Florida, floods are not covered. You have to buy a separate policy. So the insurance company would only be on the hook for $500,000. Now, as you can see the note, this particular law only will apply to partial loss when caused only by fire and lightning. So if it's a partial loss by tornado or hurricane, that's not covered. And also depreciation should not be taken or reduced by the insurance company. So we're going to go into a little bit more about the causes. We talked about that and some of the stats, but let's go into now some of the causes, and then we'll look more into what the average of these claims are and a little bit of nuances regarding these type of claims. So first you'll see the causes of home fires. Lightning strikes, we went through that. Cooking fires, we went through that. Defective wiring. Defective wiring, besides the 50,000 fires a year due to wiring issues, look at what the percentage is of fans, washers, and dryers, 6%. Well, you may say, well, it's only 6%. Well, that 6% is about 3,000 fires a year. So that does matter. Space heaters, ACs, water heaters, electric ranges are 4%. We talked about candle fires being most of them start in the bedroom. Okay, so now we're going to go into the hidden damage, and with fires, a lot of the property damage besides a fire comes to secondary exposure from smoke, from soot, from the ash. It has a tendency to really damage electrical equipment, whether it's your TV, audio equipment, computer equipment. You have to get the smoke smell out of your clothes, out of the furnishings. It does tremendous damage. So let's put it up now, hidden damages. So as you can see, mold, water, soot, corrosion, odor. And the most hidden and most costly is this hidden damage of these factors right here. The most common hidden damage, smoke. As you can see, electrical equipment damaged by soot, TVs, computers, as I mentioned. The electrical wiring. See, copper wiring is an excellent conductor of heat. So then you also have your ceilings and walls at risk. You have to replace the wiring. And then next, what you really have to do after a fire is a thorough inspection, because there's so many different facets that can be damaged that you don't realize, or structures weakened. Let's take a look. I'll put it up now. So walls, foundations, the heat may destabilize portions of the house, the roof damage, the wood you have to worry about underneath the water, underneath the roofing material, with the water stains, molds, windows, blistered, discolored, melted, wall material, stucco, and concrete can weaken if it's a pretty hefty fire. Pipes, ducts, connectors, and now we have to discover why was your fire damage claim denied? The insurance company came out, they probably sent their fire expert, they probably sent their adjuster, who knows what other people they send out, structural engineer possibly, if the structure was compromised from the fire. They're going to determine if it's a total loss, partial loss. They're going to determine what was the cause of fire. And see, there's a lot of traces and clues when you can really narrow down what started a fire. And when you watch the fire cases video, there's a few things that, in a few of those cases, that really gave me evidence that I knew our insured or my client was not responsible for the fire. And a lot of times it comes with the wiring. You can see various, I'll say, lesions, but traces on the wall to let you know that's where the fire started. When you're talking about electrical wiring, if you're talking about a cooking fire, there's going to be traces about with regards to how that started, because you'll see much more damage in that kitchen area and to the cook range to let you know that this was a place of fire. And there's a few other things, but I don't want to go into every specific part. Even with candles, because normally a fire department can get there in a certain amount of time because of smoke that starts in a few rooms, and by the time they come over to the later part of the house or the other part of the house that really hasn't been damaged that much, you start from the less damage, go into the more damage, and you keep on narrowing the possibilities of what caused a fire. The other thing I'll say is most public adjusters and attorneys don't talk with the local fire department. They don't talk with the state marshals, where I do. I get all those reports, examine them, find out what their conclusion is. Because more often than not, despite my expertise in fire claims, you still need to bring somebody else in to be a fire expert. The more you have that can validate your story, the stronger your case is going to be. And again, the insurance company will always, in most cases, try to come back and see if they can deny it. Not that they will, but their inclination is to see how they can deny it before they see how they can pay your claim. Let's go into some of the reasons why your claim was possibly denied for a fire. Put that up now. So the number one reason is you. As I started off in the beginning of the video, they'll find a way to try and find some tie-in to how you're at fault through a recorded statement. That's why it's important to hire a public adjuster or an attorney if you wanted to right off the bat, because in almost all, well, the majority of cases, I'm not going to say all, I would say 75% of the cases that I dealt with, either where I represented somebody or for as being an expert witness, a husband, wife, or other people that lived there had somewhat conflicting statements, and then it made the insurance company scratch their head. And so definitely don't want you to fabricate anything, but you want to be on the same page as far as your statements. So as you can see, number 2, errors on a form. Number 3, insurance company misrepresents your statement. That's what I just talked about. A lot of times you can tell them one thing and they take it to mean another thing. Whatever the narrative they can do to shift it to make it seem like you're at fault or that you had some fault in it, they will try and do. Number 4, the insurance company leading you to say it was caused from some exclusion. So that they may ask a question in a form like this. So would you say that it was possibly due to the fact that you had candles in your bedroom? Not that it doesn't play a significant role, but is that what you think? Innocently, you may say, you may not know, but you may say just because maybe you're nervous or not really sure what to say. Yeah, you know what, that could have been. And so that's what I mean by leading you in a way. Sometimes they have people that will lead you in a way. They may not be the adjuster, or maybe they will be the adjuster, or maybe one of their investigators that work only for the insurance company. So if they do deny it, what is your recourse? Well, obviously you can hire a public adjuster and attorney. You can file a lawsuit. You can work with the public adjuster to try to get it settled, somebody like me. And then you have an additional claim possibly of what they call bad faith. Essentially means that the insurance company didn't put their best foot forward in dealing with you. So they dealt with you in bad faith. They should have never denied your claim. There's merit to your claim, etc. So here's some of the bad faith examples that we can claim on your behalf. Misrepresentation of the facts, unreasonable delay, failure to provide reason for denial, basing a denial on suspicion, not attempting to settle a claim, and then the 90 days. In Florida, they have 90 days to make some type of offer, deny the claim, take some sort of position so that the homeowner, property owner, isn't left in limbo wondering what's going on with my claim. And so that pretty much sums up the video. I thought it'd be a little bit longer, but thankfully from your end it probably wasn't longer. But I hope you found this helpful and informative. As you can see, there's more to fire claims than just simply making a claim and hoping your insurance company covers it, because that's not always the case. And I really hope you take a look at the next video that I'm going to do, which is all about the different fire claim cases that I worked on and handled, and they're quite interesting. So if you have a fire damage claim, have some questions, need some help, give us a call here at the Claim Squad Public Adjusters. Thank you for watching this video.